representatives to take action and support the bipartisan legislation in support of the Voting Rights Amendment Act of 2014, which was introduced in January. We have the following organizations and persons present. Mr. Dan Bosket, President of the Allentown NAACP, yours truly, Bethlehem President. Sister Benita Crow, she may be on her way, along with our NAACP officers and members. Mrs. Stephanie Hnatiw, Executive Director of the Bethlehem YWCA. Mr. Will Alexander, the Exalted Ruler from Bethel Lodge 1284. Mrs. Judith Alexander, daughter ruler, Lehigh Temple 930. Pastor Haley I've just been informed that he may not be able to be with us. Mr. Walt Garvin, Northampton County Democratic Chairman. Mr. Marcus Grundy, who's probably on his way. He's our first African American member of Northampton County Democratic Committee. Ms. Nancy Tate from LEPOCO. And our mayor, I emailed him last week, and he called this morning and said he had a meeting at 5:30. But he would be here perhaps as soon as he was through with that. This bipartisan legislation, Senate Bill 1945 and House Bill 3899, was introduced by members of the U.S. Senate, led by Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont, and the U.S. House of Representatives, led by Congressman James Sensenbrenner from Wisconsin. Today we encourage that a vote be taken to update and modernize the provisions in the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which was struck down by the United States Supreme Court. We encourage U.S. Senator Robert Casey, Senator Pat Toomey, and Representative Charles Dent to move forward, take the necessary action to amend, strengthen, and pass this legislation and send these bills forward for a vote. While pre-clearance, double, pre-clearance seems to be a holdup for our lawmakers, they must know that the voting rights of all people, regardless of race, color, or language, is protected to ensure voting practices and procedures are adhered to. So what's wrong with that? Under the pre-clearance, any changes would be presented to the U.S. Department of Justice and/or the U.S. District Court in D.C. Currently, redistricting and redrawing of congressional districts boundaries happens every 10 years. As we move into the future, we have no assurances that circumstances will remain the same. The NAACP units of Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton encourage the U.S. House of Representatives to hold a hearing as soon as possible on the Voting Rights Amendment Act of 2014, amend, strengthen, and pass the bill swiftly. However, we thank Governor Casey, who has called on Pennsylvania Governor Corbett to stop wasting our tax money and the appeal process affecting voter ID. Governor Corbett, there is no voter fraud in Pennsylvania. This is America. Let people vote. That's the end of my presentation. Now I'm going to start and call